20s. And Heidi, that is your look at weather for this half hour.
Thank you very much, Cyril. We all hope it doesn't happen, but the day could come when you find yourself in a motor vehicle accident. And whether it's a fender bender or something more serious, there are things we all need to know when it comes to the legal system. So this morning, we are learning about accident and injury law and what to do if it happens to you. We're joined by Nicole Snow, who is a litigation lawyer at MacGillivray Injury and Insurance Law. Thanks for coming in.
Good morning, Heidi. Thanks for having me.
So heaven forbid, if something does happen, whether it's, just a minor fender bender, as I mentioned, or something more serious, you're in an accident, what do you do?
Okay. Depending on the condition that you're in, one of the first things you do is you go and identify who hit you. So you want to go speak with the driver that hit you, get his or her contact information, get their license plate number, get their insurance particulars. If there's more than one vehicle involved, you're going to want to do that with each and every driver.
Now, why is it important to do that?
You need to know which insurance company is going to be responding to the claim, for starters, and who the driver is that's caused the accident.
Now, how do you decide if you need a lawyer?
All right. You may want to determine the extent of your injuries. It's fine to get a consultation with a lawyer at any time to determine what your rights are, how you should deal with the insurance company. You may not need to retain a lawyer, but you may want to consult with one to determine whether that's necessary. The extent of your injuries are going to govern whether or not you may want to retain a lawyer. You may feel that you want to know the impact that the injuries are having on your employment and on your activities of daily living. It's good to understand what your injuries are before you actually speak with a lawyer. So know what your diagnosis is, have an understanding of how it's impacting your employment, your ability to do the duties of your employment. If it's taken you off your employment for a period of time, that's probably a good indicator that you may want to speak with a lawyer.
One of the things I wonder about is oftentimes, especially with fender benders, people feel like they're fine, right? Oh, I'm okay, and maybe it doesn't show up till much later. I mean, is there a time period where you really should see a lawyer anyway, just in case, or?
You want to have an understanding of whether or not you do have some injuries. So in that case, that's a good point. You want to wait and see, well, how am I going to recover? Will I have some long-standing injuries? Will I have any injury at all? Most people are going to be a little sore following a motor vehicle accident, but they may not have long-term injury. So give it some time so that you understand the fullness of the injuries before you go and see your lawyer, because that's going to be some information that will be important for your lawyer to know is what are your injuries.
Okay, so that's okay to wait a little. You don't
It's
have to
absolutely
rush.
okay to wait. You actually have 3 years in Nova Scotia within which to file your lawsuit.
Okay.
Now, I don't suggest that you wait till the 3-year deadline before you go speak with a lawyer, but you do have plenty of time to assess the nature of your injuries.
So say you have talked to a lawyer then and you've decided there is something you need to pursue. What usually happens after that initial meeting with someone?
If the lawyer takes the matter on and moves forward, one of the first things they'll do is contact the insurance company for the driver at fault. One of the things that you want to do is determine who's at fault, and that's why you get that information on the scene. Sometimes that becomes an issue, determining who is at fault. But if it's fairly clear, you contact the insurance companies involved and you move forward from there. There's various steps in the litigation process, so it's a long process. You have to be committed to the process. It can take years to resolve a litigation process, but every case is different, and it's very dependent upon your injuries and the nature of your recovery.
So what are some of the common types of cases that you would deal with?
At our firm, we do all plaintiff work, for starters, so we're very exclusive that way. We deal with motor vehicle accidents, we deal with long-term disability denial claims, and we deal with slip and fall accidents at the fault of another.
Okay. So when it comes to motor vehicle accidents, I mean, I guess I'm looking for just an example of what a common scenario would be, why someone would need a lawyer.
A common scenario for the accident, or a common scenario for needing a lawyer?
For needing a lawyer.
For needing a
yes.
lawyer. A common scenario may be difficulty if the victim of the accident has difficulty dealing with the insurance company themselves, or they feel that they're being treated unfairly. Then they may feel that they need to speak with a lawyer. If they feel they're being offered a settlement too early, they may feel they want to speak with a lawyer. You shouldn't settle your claim until you understand the nature of your injuries or they've resolved.
Oh, okay. So that's when a lawyer comes in handy. So minor injury legislation, this is something that's been talked about a lot in Nova Scotia and throughout our region. What does it mean here in Nova Scotia?
In Nova Scotia, what it means is that there is a cap on the amount that you can recover in some cases. So, for instance, in this province, as of April 28, 2010, legislation came into place that says that there's a cap of $7,500 on some injuries. Now, first of all, that cap increases with inflation, so it's a little higher than that now, having been 2 years later. The kind of injuries that will be impacted by this would be strains, sprains, and whiplash injuries, grade 1 or 2. But not if those injuries are having a serious impairment on your ability to do your job or your daily activities.
So there are some factors in there.
There are definitely factors. Whiplash or soft tissue injuries that are grade 3 are excluded, as well as fractures.
So if they're excluded, does that mean you can ask for more?
It does mean that. It means you're outside that cap.
Okay.
And it's a fine issue of interpreting that legislation, and that's where sometimes it becomes important to have a lawyer to interpret it for you, because the insurance companies will often say that your injuries are capped, but that may not be the case.
Be the case. All right. So again, good to consult a lawyer. Well, thank you for coming in and doing a little accident and injury law 101. Just a little bit. Again, hopefully you're never in an accident, but if it happens, it's always good to talk to a lawyer. Nicole, thank you very much.
Thank you, Heidi.
We're going to take a break here on CTV Morning Live. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Stay with us.